It's just a sliver of an island 13.5 miles long and never wider than 2.3 miles. But Manhattan is full of surprises.
Did you know, for example, that these are musical instruments in one of New York City's hottest shows?
Or that one of the best views of the Statue of Liberty is on a 50-cent boat ride.
And did you know that there are 17,000 restaurants in the Big Apple? And tonight on Travelers, we're going to visit every single one of them. Just kidding.
Hello world, I've been waiting for a chance to see your face. Oh, hello world, I am ready for a different kind of place. And I'm flying to somewhere else, 'cause I'm searching for something else. And I'm leaving, I don't know where I'm gonna land. Oh no, yes, I'm leaving, I don't know where I'm gonna land.
It's bright and it's loud, and there's absolutely no place like Times Square on Earth. Hi everybody, I'm Barbara Alvarez.
I'm Patrick Michael. No matter when you visit New York City, it's busy. The city's made up of 5 boroughs with a population of about 7 million people. Way too big. So tonight we're just going to concentrate on the island of Manhattan.
You know, it's about 22 square miles in area, but you'll hear over 90 languages spoken here. You'll find the best of everything: food, music, art, and theater, and you can get anything you want at any time of the day.
Tonight we're going to show you some of the greatest places to visit in Manhattan. We're also going to show you some of the quiet, out-of-the-way places you just don't want to miss. One thing's for sure, when you visit New York City, you're going to find a character like no other.
But I love the stress. My cholesterol is 343. My blood pressure is 150/100. I shaved my head yesterday.
A lot of traffic, a lot of people, crazy people.
The musicals, the theater, shopping.
There's rude, obnoxious people everywhere. I think Boston's worse.
What is it about it that you love?
People in the scenery.
Is there anything about it that you hate?
People in the scenery.
If you can't make it in New York, you can't make it nowhere.
I love the theater and the restaurants and the people. Everything is great.
I love it. I mean, it's a love-hate relationship. I'm ready to, I'm 28. I feel like 68.
More than 25 million people visit New York City every year. And of course, one of the most popular times to visit is during the Christmas holidays. The decorations are incredible. Behind us is the world-famous Rockefeller Center Christmas tree.
But we're warning you, if you're thinking about coming at Christmas time, plan ahead. The city gets booked solid. The hotel we're staying at, for example, has turned down over 18,000 requests for rooms just in the last several weeks.
But whenever you come, there's always plenty to do, and there's never a shortage of places to eat. New York has over 17,000 restaurants. Yes, 17,000 restaurants. And Foster Solomon's here to check out a few of them.
We've been trying to figure out the best way to show you the variety of restaurants here in New York. Now, there are the legendary places where dinner can cost you a couple of $100s, and there are the trendy places that come and go. And there's also Chinatown and Little Italy. This is, after all, a city of immigrants, and you can see that reflected in its food. Right now, I'm in the East Village, and within just a few blocks of where I am, you'll begin to get an idea of the diversity of restaurants that make New York City so unique.
This is a pastry shop cafe. We've been here since 1894. Started as a pool hall. My father's uncle converted it to confections, and we've served many great people, from Caruso to Roosevelt up to, present day people. People that are in the area just go to shows, movies, theater, and then they go to their restaurant, and instead of opting for dessert there, they come here because they like a bit of old New York, and this is the place to come.
And from all the way uptown New York, they'll come down here for dessert.
From Connecticut, Long Island, the tri-state area. We have somebody here from Michigan right now as we speak.
What does B&H mean? What does that stand for?
That means better and health.
Better and health? Blintzes and
Belenenses, pierogi, potato pancakes, salmon croquettes. We made that delicious challah bread, and our own bread. We make it in here. Hot borscht.
Oh yeah.
It's original from Russia. Yeah. And then you got it here, the split pea soup. Split pea. And here you get the mushroom ball.
And how long have you been working?
I'm here working 32 years.
32 years.
I started working here in 1964.
And has this place been as popular as it always?
Always.
Always popular?
Always, yeah.
What's the specialty? What do people come in and ask for the
Yeah,
most?
people will come to ask for falafel. Yeah, we're famous place for falafel here.
This?
Yeah.
Right here?
Yeah.
Really?
Really. And we have hummus, baba ganoush, tapiola salad, chickpea salad, lettuce, tomatoes, filtered cheese, green leaves. I think you could just be plopped down right in the middle of the East Village, and if you're hungry, you throw a stone and you'll go someplace great to eat. The next time that happens, you throw another stone, you'll eat someplace else that's totally different, just as good, just as wonderful.
Two Boots is a Cajun Italian restaurant, and it's named after the geographical shapes of Italy and Louisiana.
Our pizzas, which is what we're really best known for, use a lot of Cajun ingredients on it. Like we have one called a Bayou Beast that has barbecue shrimp and andouille, which is a spicy Cajun sausage. We serve a very spicy sauce here. We serve it like a Cajun tomato sauce.
The melting pot of New York was always in this area. Oh, you know, that's the Lower East Side. People start out here.
It's traditionally been a very, very poor area filled with tenement buildings, and as a lot of the immigrants have moved out, artists have moved in, and hipsters, but they're still stuck with these old, very, very tiny apartments, many of which either have no kitchens or primitive kitchens, and so people treat restaurants here as their kitchens or as their living rooms because the apartments are so tiny and crammed with people to make it economically viable to live there. So this restaurant culture has sprung up that has, fabulous cheap places to eat. People sometimes think New York is an expensive place to eat it. It's not at all. If you know where to go, you can eat cheaper in a restaurant than you can in your own apartment.
We make chicken, lamb, beef, shrimp, curries. Our specialty is here, tandoori chicken, the barbecue chicken. We have a special clay oven in the back. We have around this glass, people can watch how we make the chicken tandoori, especially also the bread called naan bread. And this naan bread, this thing's ready to go. Please try some.
Oh, great.
Yes, very fresh. That's just now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Be careful. I like people to be educated in our food.
I'll come back here and get like a master's degree in your food if I have to.
Okay, sir.
Next, the Big Apple's most outrageous citizen.
Let's go!
And hospitality goes underground when Travelers comes right back.
A few minutes ago, you saw Foster exploring some of the restaurants in the East Village. Well, now we're up in Hell's Kitchen on the corner of 54th and 9th at a place called the Vinyl Diner. The mood is downtown funky, but the kitchen is completely contemporary American with a twist of Thai and Asian. And don't let the word diner fool you. Look at this. This is grilled mahi-mahi with smashed potatoes.
And I have the chicken skewers and peanut sauce, and they're delicious.
Which only goes to show you, a good restaurant can be found on every corner, in every back alley of New York.
It was the Algonquin Indians that first gave this island its name, but they pronounced and spelled it Manhattan. Later it became known as New Amsterdam, and finally, in 1664, as New York.
But around the world, this island's become known by its nickname, the Big Apple. But no one really seems to know where the nickname came from. So we asked some people how this big city got the nickname the Big Apple.
We've been worming our way through it. It's called the Big Apple because it's big.
Because everybody wants to take a big bite out of it.
It was a campaign that was put together probably in the early 80s just to, have a target for tourism.
People ask me, I told them it's like have a beautiful, nice apple there and you give a bite.
It's a sweet place to live, just gotta watch out for the pigs. From New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Long Island, and everywhere else, this is Ed Koch, your voice of reason on News Talk Radio 77 WABC.
Stand by 30 seconds to cigars.
I can't hear a thing. Oscar, I can't hear a thing. Da, 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 da.
Don't quit your day job.
He said, don't quit my day job. I like singing. When I go to the gym every morning.
You may like it, but we don't.
Please.
I had a chance to meet Mayor or ex-Mayor Ed Koch.
If you've been here for 6 months and you find that you walk faster, you talk faster, you think faster, you're a New Yorker.
ABC, good morning.
New York City is the gateway to the rest of America.
Now, you can speed it up. It's okay.
We have learned to live with one another. It's not necessarily love, but it's an acceptance. We got to live together.
77 WABC.
You can talk. How do you like the show?
Huh?
How do you like the show?
I love your show.
How often do you listen to my
day.
show? Why don't you work?
Huh?
What do you mean you listen every day?
Yeah.
Don't you go to work?
Yeah, I'm at work.
Does the boss know you're listening?
I'm the boss.
He is exactly like what I expected him to be. Funny, adorable, friendly. He loves New York and he loves the people of New York.
Hello. Yeah, hi. How am I doing?
Doing good, guys.
Thanks.
Hey, that's Pat. She was my schoolmate. We met in Natal a few years ago.
Good. Yeah.
Hey, how are you?
Nice to say hello. Thank you. Hello. Hi. No. We want to get to 6th Avenue between 14th and 15th Street. It's a Dunkin' Donuts shop.
Is that your favorite bagel place?
Yeah.
Why a Dunkin' Donuts?
Because I do commercials for them.
Oh.
Listen, if you don't like crowds, then you won't like New York. It's the electricity that makes the difference. You can't find this anyplace else. 175 different races, religions, ethnic groups, all around New York. Hi. Aren't you nice? Thank you very much. Hi.
I wish you were.
Yeah, you're nice to say that. I mean, New York is unique, and obviously there are lots of people who don't take advantage of what it has to offer, but I do. I do.
Why did you pick Greenwich Village to live?
Well, I've lived here since 1956. Everything that takes place in New York City is magnified. People live kind of a vicarious relationship with the city. It's the usual story. Would love to visit, wouldn't want to live there. Well, everybody who lives anywhere wouldn't want to live anyplace else, generally speaking. This is my hometown, and I love it.
I'm hearing sirens outside as we speak. One of your neighbors is hammering next door. Do you ever get tired of the hustle and bustle of people living one on top of the other here?
Well, the fact is, and I'm smiling as I say it, that I would be more conscious of birds chirping when I go visit my friends in Connecticut than I would be of that siren. The fact is, the siren made no dent on my consciousness. I knew it was there, but who cares? It's part of New York. I believe that we have a special sense of humor, which is witty and sometimes a little too razor sharp, draws a little blood. Those of us who live here are lucky. The whole world wants to come to the United States. And when they want to come to the United States, the place that they want to come to first is New York City.
Now, if you're going to come to New York, there's absolutely no reason not to take the subway. It's safe, it's economical, and it's reliable. 3.5 million New Yorkers do it every day. Now, obviously, it's a little safer to do in the daytime, but if you just use a little common sense, you'll be fine. And actually, it's kind of fun. Now, I'm here in Greenwich Village, and I'm at West 4th Street at Washington Square. I want to get to Grand Central Station. Now, I don't really know if I take the A, C, E, B, D, F, or Q lines to get there, but I guess I'm going to figure it out. Come on.
Okay. All right, here's where I am. Right here in this big red dot, and I've got to get to Grand Central Station. which is going to be somewhere on this map. Penn Station. Oh, no. Hey, can you do me a favor?
Do you a favor?
Yeah, can you do me a favor? Where's Grand Central Station on this map? 42nd Street, Grand Central.
Right about Madison Park.
Yeah? Now, basically, I get a token and get on, right? I mean, that's not a problem. I just got to get on the right train.
It's getting pretty heavy. What other questions you got?
That's all.
Good.
That's it. Thanks. I get on and I go to 42nd, right?
Let's go.
I can.
Take the AC or the E to I'm sorry. Take the AC or the E to 42nd and take the shuttle to Grand Central.
You know, I'm trying to figure out the whole system, and it seems kind of complicated, though. But nobody here from New York thinks it's hard at all. They just think
It's the true test of a New Yorker. If you understand the subway, you're from New York. If you don't understand the subway, you can't be from New York.
Is this your train?
It's going to be right now.
Let's
yeah.
go. Let's go.
Let's give it a try.
Yeah, at least I can ride with you.
Okay.
I won't get too lost.
Any idea where you want to go?
Well, kind of. How long have you been riding this?
I've been riding this probably 15 years.
15 years?
15 years.
No problem?
Many problems. Get lost all the time.
Do you think people are kind of willing to help out like you are? I mean, when you get on a train and you're lost?
You're the second person to ask me a question in the last 5 minutes. There were two tourists who said, how do I get uptown on the number 6 train? The sign said, you can only go downtown on the 6th train. I said, ignore it. Try going uptown on this line and walk.
Are you ever frightened to ride this subway?
No.
No?
No.
How long you been riding?
50 years.
50 years you've been riding the subway?
Yes.
42nd Street will be the next stop on the Day Express train.
No, really. No, really, no.
Where the f*** do you want to go?
I gotta go to Grand Central Station, no lie, really.
Yeah.
You don't think this is complicated?
No.
Why? I mean, it's all, that's...
Hey, if it gets too hard, get in a cab.
See? We made it! This is Grand Central Station, one of the busiest, most famous train stations in all the world. And we made it here all the way from Greenwich Village in just a couple of minutes. Actually, these trains run about 938,000 miles every day. That's about 40 times around the planet. All for $1.50.
Coming up, the best of Broadway at half the price. Next on Travelers. There's no question that New York City is the theatrical center of the United States. There are 35 Broadway theaters here, and together they contribute about $2 billion a year to the city's economy. The best way to get tickets for a Broadway show is to plan ahead. Buy your tickets before you get here. But if you didn't, it's okay. You can still get some great tickets to some great shows. For example, the Actors Fund holds 4 tickets to every Broadway show. But in order to get those tickets, you gotta pay double the face value and you gotta call 48 hours in advance. Now, the best way to get tickets to a Broadway show is to come here. The Tickets booth in Times Square. It's on 47th Street between Broadway and 7th Avenue. Why is it the best way to get tickets to a Broadway show? Because the tickets are available and they're half price. The only catch is you gotta pay cash and the tickets are for that day's performance only. Now what you do is come to the board and find out what shows are available, like Cats or Grease or Magic on Broadway. Pick your favorite and then go get in that line. It wasn't hard to get tickets?
Well, especially since there's no line today.
No line today?
Yeah.
That looks huge.
Oh, that's nothing.
not a
The
line.
line stretches out around the block on a busy day.
How long did it take?
We were here 5 minutes.
Do you mind if I asked what you paid for tickets?
Half price, $65 for $55 for 2 tickets.
What are you going to see?
We don't
We don't know yet.
I have no idea.
Did you check what's available?
No,
do that now.
Not as yet.
Is this the first time you've ever been in the tickets line?
No, it's probably the 150th.
No way.
Yeah.
You do this all the time to get tickets?
Yes.
So what are you going to see today?
Skylight.
Now you know you're going to see that, right?
Yep, we're right there. It's all planned. You have to have a plan.
Gotta have a plan.
Yes.
Gotta know what you're gonna see.
Yes.
Before you get in line.
I have like 5 or 6 options, yes.
Now you think this is the best way to get tickets for a Broadway show?
Short term, yeah. Unless you want to really wait a long time and pay a little bit more premium. Wow. So it's great for us visitors.
I'm trying to find out if this is the best way to see the shows.
If you don't have a particular show in mind that you want to see and there's a few that you're willing to see, then it works good.
So I should kind of have 2 or 3 choices when I get in line.
Yes, not just be set on one. Then it works good.
We're going to go see Grease. You know, that's a real. It's old, but it's a lot of fun.
Good family show then.
Yeah, it really is.
Cowgirls. And we already stood in line and got $20 rent tickets. So we're rent rats. We're rent rats.
What is that?
Well, you can stand in line and get $20 tickets on the first ride.
For rent?
Yeah. For rent.
Wow.
So we got it.
You guys made out great.
We're on New York on a budget. It's possible.
When people use the term off-Broadway, they're referring to smaller productions. They probably have different union agreements and aren't featuring big-name stars. To be considered off-Broadway, a theater has to have at least 100 seats. We're at the Orpheum Theater on 2nd Avenue in the East Village, home to one of the most incredible off-Broadway experiences you'll ever have.
5, 6, 7, 8.
It's called Stomp, an extremely popular show made of nothing more than industrial objects and a whole lot of rhythm.
To me, it's a piece of theatre created by musicians. The two of us that created it, Luke Cresswell and myself, we both musicians first and foremost, so we wanted to make a piece of theatre that we found entertaining ourselves. I would hope that if people get anything out of it, it's kind of inspiration to do something themselves. Because the show is really about making something with virtually nothing. When people watch the show, they don't necessarily come away from it saying, oh, that's very flamenco influenced, or that's very African influenced, or Brazilian. I think the impression is that it's a real mix of all these things, and you can't really put your finger on exactly what those influences are, and I think that's the impression you get from New York as well. New York is a kind of it's a sort of cultural crossroads for the world in a way. It's not really like anywhere else in America. It's a world city.
I'm exhausted just looking at you guys. Wow. How long did you guys have to train for this?
Oh, varies.
Yeah, it was different. Mostly the training period is about 6 weeks, and some people take more time, some people take less. And then it takes about 3 months of being on stage constantly.
Before they allow
Every
you?
night. No, just getting up there and sort of learning it just by doing it.
Is it a choreographed show and then you guys add your own thing to it, or?
Choreographed, but we have our own flavors and everything, and different it's like our different personalities. So we have room to like improvise a bit, but it is choreographed. This is definitely an incredible, show to do. I mean, it's like, for me, it's definitely one of the best things I've ever done in my life.
One of the things that we're interested in finding out is what it's like to be a struggling actor in New York. And I mean, I'm sure you guys all of you had your own process and your own journey to get to this point.
We're still struggling. What are you talking about?
It's really hard to be in this business and sit down and rest.
Yeah.
You know, because this show could close tomorrow. I mean, not conceivably tomorrow, but it could get pulled out from all of us. So, and most of us all sort of working and trying to get other things going and looking into other things. And we're very lucky to have a steady job in New York. And I think that's how most people look at it.
Right.
And it's a fun job, and we have a great time. So.
Right. We're all a bunch of nomads, you know.
It's a tough life. It's a tough business. It's a tough city. It moves fast, and basically they said that if you don't move right along with it, you'll get run over. Will you guys teach me a little bit of this? Yeah.
Sure.
Okay,
Let's do it.
This is called Big Bend.
Big Bend.
Basically, you take this big ball, you hold it in your right hand. Take
Splinters, you gotta be careful.
Yeah, but we have calluses and everything. So
there you go.
So we're gonna hit it on one, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna double up on it. So I'll show you what I mean.
Okay, so you and I are one.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we're gonna double up on it, which you'll see what I'm
Okay,
saying. Okay,
here we go.
ready?
Ready?
1, 2, 3, 4. 1. 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3,
Up next, getting around Manhattan doesn't get much better than this.
You got it, brother.
And how to grab a cab.
What should I do?
Jump in front of it and say, yo! That's it. He'll stop.
When Travelers comes right back.
In the midst of all this urban sprawl, all the noise and congestion, where do New Yorkers go to get a little peace and quiet? They come here to Central Park. It runs 50 blocks, starting at 59th Street all the way up to Harlem. And like a lot of places in the city, it has a bad reputation. But the truth is, if you come here during the day, you'll actually be very safe. In fact, on a spring or summer day, you'll find about 250,000 people enjoying the park. There's a skating rink, the zoo, a carousel, lakes, gardens, and even rock climbing. But if you really want to feel like you're getting out of the city, believe it or not, you'll have to saddle up.
Claremont is the only riding stable in Manhattan. It's a full-service riding facility. We give lessons here. We board private horses. We have horses available for public riding in Central Park. It is right in the middle of a residential district on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. It's a vertical stable, just like in New York. We live with people stacked one on top of another. In apartment houses, the horses here live on multi-storied
So they're right above me right now?
They're above you and they're below you.
So then he took me out to Central Park to ride, and thankfully he brought along another horse named Trigger. And he brought along one of his students, her name is Maria, to guide my horse for me.
The city is such a busy, frenetic, stressful place that this is a place where New Yorkers can come, take a deep breath, and start to relax and chill out. When they talk about recreation, it really is recreating your psychic well-being here. We have a host of cultural activities, free performances of Shakespeare in the park, free performances of the New York Philharmonic, the New York Metropolitan Opera performs free here sometimes, in addition to a host of special rock concerts, jazz. There's always a wonderful group of Latino musicians playing by Bethesda Fountain.
What would New York be like without the park?
New York would be a frazzled concrete jungle. It would be people preying on one another, more neurotic than they are now, more excitable, and so on. It'd be a lot less pleasant place to be.
Most of the people that work in the city commute. In fact, most of the people that live in the city don't own cars. First of all, there's the traffic. I mean, what are you going to do with a car you can't move? And secondly, there's that small fortune it would cost you just to park the car. Overnight parking is about $25, and monthly parking is a couple of $100. So without a car, what are you going to do? Get a cab.
There are about 12,000 taxi cabs in the city, each with an average fare of about $5. To give us the true taxi cab experience, we got one of the best taxi drivers in the city. Right, Jerry?
You got it, brother.
So how long you been a taxi driver?
I was about 26 years. I don't even think you're 26 years old.
Whoa.
That's how long I'm driving.
You don't think it's kind of scary?
At times, you know, like anything else in life, you know, you get your scary times, but most of the time is nice. It's a lot of fun.
What does it take to be a cab driver?
Believe it or not, they go to taxi college. Oh, Jesus. Well, this taxi college is supposed to teach them geography, the logistics, how to talk to people, how to act with people. But you know something? To me, it's a cockamamie college over there. They come out after 2 weeks, they know nothing, or next to nothing. I don't know how they can call them professionals. Actually, if you notice, they have trainee licenses on back of some of the cabs. You know, you'll see, it'll say, the guy's picture will say trainee. How would you like to get in an airplane and you see trainee pilot? I mean, you know, you're not gonna feel too good about that.
Now, is there somewhere along the street I need to go to get a cab, or can I get one anywhere?
Well, a good tip to get cabs in New York is this. First of all, go to a hotel. Cabs will always be pulling up at a hotel. Go to, if you're close to a train station, like Penn Station, Grand Central, go there. Cabs will always be pulling up. Go to any major office building, like the World Trade Center. You know, as long as you get an attraction, the Empire State, a cab will be there within a minute.
How should I hail a cab? What should I do?
Jump in front of it and say, yo! That's it, he'll stop. That's the only way you're gonna get some of them to stop. Actually, you should stick your hand out and wave it. You know, you just give one of these. But then you got the one-fingered wave, the two-fingered wave, the whole hand. You got the fist. You got them all. You know, I mean, you know, everybody got their own way of doing their little waving.
But no one makes you stop more than another, right?
Well, 5'6", 120, 36, 36. You know, that might stop. I might stop a little fast for that.
There you go.
Hey, I'm married 32 years. Give me a break. You know, if I see something nice, I'm gonna stop.
Now, let's say I got a bunch of stuff with me, like luggage.
Don't take my cab if you got stuff. What do you want me to come out and break my back and load it in the trunk? What do I look like?
What's a good tip? 10%?
Well, you know, 10, 15% is like anywhere else would be a good tip. You know, I'd rather get a good tip on a horse, but you know, if you can't get a tip on a horse, take 10, 15%. No. You know, who the heck deals with change anymore? If it's $10, you round it out to 15. What's the big deal?
So what do you think? Is this a pressure-filled job, or is this an easy-going job?
What makes you think I got pressure? Are you crazy? You're under pressure all day, but it's how you deal with the pressure. You want me to show you how you don't blow up in traffic?
Show.
When you get in a bad situation, you go, and that releases the air and the gas out of you, and then you feel good. You know, it's like letting out the tension, man. That's why people beat the horn in New York. You got to learn that the traffic is the boss, and that's it. You're the whipping boy, the traffic whips you.
Well, it just seems that New York has this flavor, this character all its own. How am I going to describe that to people?
Well, you know, New York is a very sophisticated people. And one of the things that makes them so sophisticated is that we have everything in New York. We got the best of everything in the world at our fingertips. Last year, we had 3,000 murders every year. We're down to less than 1,000. I know, we're improving. We're getting civilized over here. Maybe in a few more years, you know, I mean, I can't believe we'll all go around hugging and kissing each other. But 99 out of every 100 people in New York are nice people. They understand you got a tough job. They don't give you a hard time.
So this is it?
This is it.
All right. Well, listen, I can't thank you enough, man.
My pleasure, guys.
Right. And can I get a receipt?
You can get a receipt coming up right now.
Please remember to take all of your belongings when leaving this taxi and ask the driver for a receipt. Thank you for riding with us.
Who is that?
That's a new law we got. You got to play the message so the people remember to take their receipt.
Gotcha.
There you go.
Thanks, man.
Up next, where do you park a 43,000-ton museum?
The cheapest place to park is next to the Intrepid.
Only in Manhattan. That story next on Travelers.
There are over 150 50 museums in New York City housing some of the greatest art collections in the world. Certainly one of the most spectacular is the Metropolitan Museum of Art right here in Central Park.
Here in New York, there are fashion museums, cultural heritage museums, design and craft museums.
There's the Museum of Television and Radio, the Museum of American Financial History, and the Immigration Museum, just to name a few.
Jutting out into the Hudson River is one of the largest naval museums anywhere in the world. And that's where Foster takes us right now.
The Intrepid is a decommissioned aircraft carrier that has all of these planes on it. Larry, the director of exhibits, took me around on the flight deck, and as I walked with him, I was instilled with this sense of history because he was telling me how everything that was around me has some story, is connected to history somehow.
She survived bombs, kamikazes, torpedoes, fought history's largest naval battle, probably had been around the world, 50 times. Astronauts were recovered on board her decks. She was in the Cold War in the Cuban Missile Blockade. Tremendous things happened on board their ship. It's a real piece of history. She represents the most significant class of naval ships ever built, the Essex class. There were 24 of them built, and they changed, revolutionized warfare. She epitomizes what the United States commitment was during the Cold War, as well as Vietnam and World War II. When people come aboard, you hear everything from, wow, I can't believe what I see, to tears.
Tears?
Tears from, there's a lot of history and heritage here. Men died on the decks. As we walk along, this is where the kamikazes came down. We have Japanese who come and cry as well because their fathers and their uncles fought against this ship. So there's a lot of emotions here.
So you get a tremendous cross-section of people.
Tremendous. In a city where there are more fantastic attractions than anything else, there is nothing else like the Intrepid. This is probably the most unique museum in the world, not to mention in New York as well. We're at 46th Street and 12th Avenue, so if you want to come here, it's easy. Just say the Hudson River and 46th Street. There's probably more parking in this area of Manhattan than there is in all of the entire island. The parking here is the least expensive. It's about between $7 or $8 a day versus Midtown, which is fairly dear.
I need to remember this. I definitely need to remember this. The cheapest place to park is next to the Intrepid.
Yep.
So it's not just this one ship. There's also, you said, a destroyer and a submarine. There are other parts of the museum as well.
That's correct. Well, the other parts of the museum are primarily down in the hangar deck. And that's where there are major theme halls that cover aviation and world history from the turn of the century to its present day.
I don't know how else to describe it because it's unlike anything I've ever seen before, and it was just about the most unusual thing that I saw here in New York. It's just a wonderful place because there's so much that you can get out of it for so little. Coming up, big sounds, sweet eats, and cheap thrills on a very expensive island. Next on Travelers. There is no shortage of entertainment in New York City. From symphonies at Carnegie Hall to ballet at Lincoln Center to rock concerts at Madison Square Garden, there is something for everyone. But if you like jazz, you should come to Wells. It's at the corner of Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard and 132nd Street in Harlem, and everyone is welcome. But if you come on a Monday night, you're in for a very special treat, the Harlem Renaissance Orchestra.
We call ourselves the Harlem Renaissance Orchestra because we wanted to reflect the neighborhood that we grew up in, as well as the word Renaissance itself, which means revival or rebirth, bringing back the sounds of the big band, and also bringing back Harlem and building Harlem up like it once was.
It's good to live in Harlem again. I wouldn't live anywhere else right now, and it's good to be here.
I was actually sort of quite worried that we were sort of leaving the very center of sort of New York itself and going a bit further afield, but it was such fun, but we had a good time.
You see all the tourists and the foreigners and people from all persuasions of life are now coming to Harlem because this is where it is.
I worked here in 1964, 65, 66, all through the 60s with some of the greatest musicians in the world.
The band is terrific. The crowd has become a much better crowd. Just good dancing here. You can see the crowd, lovely people.
You have to get involved. As you can see, people get up, they dance, they do what they have to do, to enjoy the music.
We've had some of the all-time greats who have appeared here. Billie Holiday, Count Basie used to be next door. Count Basie would have some time, Frank Sinatra would drop in. Many famous people have passed through these stores.
I'm from Italy, but I live in Monte Carlo, and I came with this good friend of mine who just suggested that we could have a different night in Harlem, and I think it's terrific. I had the special of the house, chicken with waffles. Yeah, I loved it.
What do you think has kept Wells so popular?
Chicken and waffles. Fabulous. Fabulous.
Did you try the fried chicken and waffles?
Oh yeah, no, it's just fried chicken. But look this.
1963 or 64, I came here just for chicken and waffles. I heard about the chicken and waffles. Wells put chicken and waffles on the map.
Nighttime in New York brings out a whole different character. Once the sun sets, it's not just plays and films and bars and clubs. There's so much you can do even if you didn't bring that much money. You just have to know where to look. Hidden right in the middle of Central Park is the Woman Ice Skating Rink. And for less than a night at the movies, you can have a great night out on the ice.
Do you guys know how to skate?
Not really.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Truly inexpensive things to do here in New York is to take in the sights, sounds, and shops of the nightlife. Whether in the East Village or Soho or where we are right now in Greenwich Village, there's always something to do and see.
Is one of the best deals in New York. For 50 cents, you'll get a spectacular view of the city.
The interesting thing is that the Staten Island Ferry is a commuter ferry linking Staten Island to Manhattan. Over 50,000 people use it every day to get back and forth to work.
Now, if you're a visitor, don't miss it, because it's also one of the best views of the Statue of Liberty.
You know, as we get ready to leave New York, it just occurred to me that we've asked everyone what they think of the city except you, Foster, and you live here.
This is true.
What do you think?
I love the city. I feel that as soon as I arrived here several years ago, I was at home. I came from the South, but when I came up here, as scared as I was when I got here, I felt this is where I belong. And I feel that there's everything that you can do up here. I've been to the museums, I've been to the Statue of Liberty, I've done all of this. And I'm never growing tired of this city. I feel I am a New Yorker. I wasn't born here, but like everyone says, you don't have to be born here to be a New Yorker. I am a New Yorker.
Isn't this one of your favorite haunts?
Yes, it is. This is actually, this restaurant is very near where I live, and so I am here all the time. I love the food. It's great.
It's very good. Barbara and I just had a great meal.
What about you? Could you live here?
I think if I had a lot of money and I could get a nice place, I could get around a little easier. I do love the pace. I mean, there's something going on here all the time, 24 hours a day, something's going on outside your window. I do like that part. And I think maybe if I could hire somebody to hold my hand when I get lost on the subway, yeah, I could live here. Walter, I just thought of something. Since you live here, Barbara and I picked up something that you probably never get enough of.
Yes.
Would never get a chance to have.
Ta-da! Just to remind you of New York City.
Oh, yes. Joy. I thank you. Yes, I haven't seen enough of this everywhere, on every street corner, on every... as a matter of fact, you bought this on a street corner, didn't you?
And the fact is, since you don't have one since you live here,
I now have two.
Exactly.
Well, you guys, we're running out of time. We have to say goodbye for now.
That is it for travelers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.